how do you obtain the projects? Do these entities reach out to you or do you reach out to them? How does that work?
So there's various artist lists. It again, it depends, but there's a lot of artist lists and things that you can apply for to just become. There's what's called a request for qualification.
Hmm.
So it's just filling out kind of your background, having a CV of previous projects, and then they'll usually have you submit like maybe 10 works that you've done in public spaces.
Hmm.
And then they'll add you to an artist roster. So I'm on about 5 or 6 different rosters throughout California. And then as projects come up, I'll either get a link to be able to apply directly for a project,
Hmm.
or they'll say, well, you're already approved, but can you submit a design?
Okay.
Um, so it does depend, but I really, this is where the other side of the business is you really do have to put yourself out there. And there's
Mhm.
the application processes, there's talking about your work, there's things like using something that's a free tool like Instagram to really
Mhm.
promote. And I get a lot of work from people just word of mouth,
Wow.
just passing my name along. And then the more that you do in the world and you're putting your name on pieces, if people see it, they look it up. And so I've been really lucky there to be contacted by so many just because we have that resource, right?
Mhm. For
Yeah.
those, I love that, and I think this goes into, how would people who are interested in, mural painting take their first step into it?
I would say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. This just popped out. Apologize, Tiffany. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you're totally fine.
Okay, good. Sorry, that whole thing came out. It was a little loose. I'm so sorry. Could you repeat that question one more time? I got a little
Yes,
distracted.
for those listening who are interested in mural painting, what would be the first step they should take?
So I would say going back to what that piece of advice that I read from that article that I wish I knew what it was is just create. So building that portfolio, contacting local muralists. So if you live in an area where you can kind of get into contact with someone, if you see a style or something that you love in the community, look up and find out who did it. Do the research,
Okay.
find out, try to get in contact with that artist. There are so many people willing to help. And this is just, I mean, and I'm absolutely happy to have like people come and just work on projects with me and just share
Mm.
my love of this. And it just comes with this shared passion to create.
Love it.
So I would say that I haven't met an artist that doesn't feel that way.
Hmm.
I'm not saying they're not out there, but most people that I meet are just have that within them to just want to share anything and just
Mhm.
be able to pick somebody's brain about
Mhm.
like what these first steps can look like. And sometimes that experience is unpaid, just to build the resume and say, I worked on this wall, this date with this artist.
Mhm.
But the more of those you build and the more confidence you get because you're putting a paintbrush on a wall or a can on a wall and you're able to kind of build that portfolio, I would say you will get such an incredible base and know if it's something that you absolutely can see yourself doing or not, but just getting out there and doing it and just yeah, contacting artists within your community I think is huge.
I love that. Isn't that the way that we as humans or people evolve by collaborating with others?
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Yeah. And
Mm.
having that shared dialogue and just making sure that we're always open to these new ideas.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I
Mhm.
couldn't agree more.
And I think that's the way we connect with our community as well, because if we don't hear the voice of our community, then how can we create something that's an expression of our community? So,
Exactly, which goes back to just wanting to have something that a community can be proud of and feel like they had input in. So
mhm.
yeah, that goes back to everything from like the process of creating a mural, but also like the baseline of how to get started with something like mural work. It's
Mm.
just listening and having those dialogues. It's incredible.
I love that. This is so fascinating to me because, for one, I like art, and two, I like your art. So when we talk about this, and I have some pieces that we're going to show, so it's going to be great for everyone listening. They're going to be able to feel what I feel and see what you're expressing, and they're going to see the beauty in your art. So I love this. I also wanted to ask you, when did you first discover that making art was something you truly loved?
Oh my gosh, when I couldn't get enough of it.
Hmm.
You know, when you finish a project and you just can't wait to start the next one, or when you're not even finished with a project yet
Mhm.
and you're already kind of bouncing ideas in your brain about what that next project is.
Mhm.
Because once those creative juices are flowing, so if you don't feel them yet, but you know you're a creative, just know that you have to start. And so I think that there is this huge thing with fear in art and failure. And
Mhm.
it is a really hard hump to get over.
Mhm.
But I think if you just create and keep pushing through, you get to this creative flow where you know that that's what you're supposed to be doing. You know that that's your place and what you're put on this planet. Like to have my family, of course, and like all of the wonderful friends and family I have around me and the contacts and the wonderful people like you, Tiffany, that I
Thank
get to
you.
meet that just glow, and having these connections and then having something that you love doing so much that you can't wait to just continue doing it. So I don't know when that happened, but I know that it's been over the last probably 6 or 7 years that I finally feel that in my career where I just am excited to get up every morning and do what I do because I love what I do.
Hmm. That's what I've spoken to many people, and when I talk to them about what they do, and I ask them, I say, "Does this feel like a job to you, or does it feel like love to you?" Because if you love something, you pour your heart into it and you open your heart to different things when it comes to whatever you're doing, whatever your career is. But when it's a job, a lot of times you're just going there for the paycheck. So I like that
Yep.
you've expressed that you look forward to waking up in the morning and going to do what you love.
Absolutely.
That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And you spoke of this another thing that stood out to me that you said. You said that there is failure in this as well, which it's within anything that you do. So I agree. And then you said there's a time where you have to try and get over the hump. Can you share a challenge from your life that helped you become the success you are today?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't even know if I could pinpoint one because honestly, as an artist or a creative, no matter what your medium is, I'm sure musicians and actors and anybody in any creative industry has gone through this. You're going to be told no a lot. And so
Mhm.
I mean, and even to this day, I'll apply to these art projects and some of the larger commission pieces, and I'm not going to get every one. And I know that. And it's not a way of being deflated, it's just a very real way of approaching it.
Mhm.
And the more you do, the more you get out there. And so even if I don't get into an art show or get the piece, get my design approved for a certain project, I know that there's more on the horizon.
Mhm.
And so you always know that there is so much out there
Mhm.
that you can apply for. And you just, so I apologize that I can't think of a specific instance,
Fine.
but I think because it's unfortunately, it is ongoing. And so you
Mhm.
have to kind of develop that skin
Mhm.
and that confidence to just continue your practice. And sometimes that's in the form of like learning more. Sometimes you have to look in and be like, well, why didn't I succeed in this? And a lot of the times it's because maybe they're just not into my style and that's fine. Or they were looking for a different artist for this particular job. Wonderful.
Mhm.
But just knowing that you have more opportunity out there, that you always will, and you just have to keep going. And then sometimes it's just about going back to the basics of like, what could I have done differently? Having a
Mhm.
friend, having a trusted person read your application, because there's so much writing and math and art. I know that you would think that it's just all like faint and like
Paint
creative,
brush.
but
Yeah.
there's like a whole nother side of it, right? So you have to have those like that base writing skill, right? And you have to have mathematics to determine how much to charge somebody for a project,
Mhm.
how much paint to purchase for like the square footage of a wall. So there's so many layers to it. So sometimes you just have to go back to answer your question and like look within yourself and think, well, what could I have done maybe a little bit better? Or sometimes it's I put my all in. It wasn't meant to be, and there's something better out there.
Oh, wow. Where does this resilience and go-getter spirit come from?
Oh my gosh, because of so much failure, to be honest. I mean,
Oh,
it's one
wow.
of those, and it is unfortunate because I think that you get enough successes
Hmm.
that it gives you this little glimpse of like, well, I can do it. So I don't want to say it's all because of failure, but I think it's that every time you fall,
Mhm.
you find new ways of picking yourself back up.
Love that.
So every time you have these hiccups along the way and these humps that seem never ending, you have these beautiful
Hmm.
glimmers
Oh,
that
wow.
kind of keep you going. And if you just keep focusing on those,
Hmm.
like it just having the support for me of my friends and family has
Mhm.
been just unparalleled. Like my son is probably my biggest fan and
Oh.
it just feels really like I can't be sad about anything because he's so proud of me, you know?
Oh, I love it.
But it just takes all those years of resilience to just like really know that you can do it. You can pick yourself back up. And it's not for everyone,
Mhm.
but we grow and we learn in the process. And I think that, you know, it's kind of incredible once you like arrive. And it's
Mhm.
if it's something you love, you just keep going for it.
Oh,
You just do.
I
But
love
please reach out to artists because they will all, everyone's been there.
Mhm.
So if anyone's looking to get into a field like this, reach out to people in your community whose pieces you admire
Hmm.
and just try to build that dialogue and that line of communication with them.
Wow, I love that. Now, since you said that, I've never actually walked up to an art piece or a mural and realize that whoever has created that, their name is somewhere on it. I haven't noticed that all the time. So now when I go and I see art pieces or murals on the wall, I'm going to see if I can see who is created that art and reach out to them just to learn about their style and things like that. So that's a good piece of information. So thank you so much for that.
Of
Thank
course.
you. I wanted to know, how do you hope your success and your mural art can inspire everyone listening?
I hope that it brings awareness. I mean, a lot of it, when I do have the choice to paint what I want, it does have like the deeper rooted, like protecting our natural resources. So I hope it
Mhm,
reaches communities on that level. And just as an overarching, I just hope it improves the space, like improves our state of mind because anytime we walk into these spaces that have had beautifications done to them, albeit a garden or a piece of sculpture or a mural, it uplifts a space
mhm,
and it can transform just your feeling, your mood for the day. And when we do it for communities, it shows communities that we care. Like it shows, like no matter where it is, that that place is cared for because the city or the county or whatever entity or private spaces took
mhm.
the time to commission an artist to create the piece for that space.
I love that. Can you take a moment to speak to someone listening who may feel they're not good enough or may have ventured into art, design, becoming a muralist, and they've given up? What can you say to inspire them to pick the brush back up?
Don't give up. Start small, start big, start however, start with friends. Like if you
Hmm.
have a friend that also loves to create, don't take yourself too seriously.
Hmm.
Like just get together on a Saturday over coffee and get just some plywood and like experiment. There's so much out there, even different tutorials, different like learning spaces. We've got so much online, even just on YouTube, but just try something new so that you're not holding yourself to a standard. So if you're somebody who takes yourself seriously or you've been creating for a long time and you feel like you have begun this journey of developing a style, but you're kind of hitting a little bit of a roadblock,
Hmm.
like try something completely new. Even try a different medium. So say you're somebody who always paints, try
Hmm.
sculpture. Just go get some clay, get something else that you could kind of experiment with because there's so many outlets we have and so many ways that we can create.
Hmm.
Listen to music, read books, like anything that you can do to kind of get yourself back in that mind frame.
Mhm,
It might not just look like picking up a paintbrush again.
mhm,
It could just look like needing inspiration so that you can. So that might not just come from picking up a paintbrush. It might come from reading a novel that just really got you, really inspired
mhm,
you, or being with a friend who's talking about an experience they had of going to this really incredible place. Um, I think the more open we are
mhm.
to those types of inspirations end up ultimately connecting us back to our craft. They connect us back to that ability to create because we're inspired again. So
Hmm,
I think that that's the route that I would take because I've done it so many times. Sometimes you just need a break,
huh.
and those creative juices aren't going to flow all the time because
Mhm,
they kind of come and go and ebb and flow. And
mhm,
in those spaces where it's quiet, finding other ways to connect with the people around you and the spaces around you,
mhm.
and in a museum with art around you or on a walk with nature around you, I think can just equally inspire to bring us back to where if you feel like you wanted to give up, sometimes you just take that space for yourself, and that's okay.
Take time, and it takes
Yeah,
time.
it
And you
does.
have to what I'm hearing is you don't have to rush into it. Let it flow.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
a journey.
Hmm. I love that. Where can I want people to be able to see your art in person
Okay.
because I have. So where are some places that people can go in our community to view some of your murals?
Oh man, I wish I had a map. I'm all over the Sacramento area. I know I wish I had a map in front of me. I've done a lot of schools within Sacramento City Unified. I've done San Juan Unified and Elk Grove, and I've done parks at Nicholas Park
Bliss
in
Park.
South Sacramento,
Okay.
and also the baseball fields over at for East Sac Little League.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and then the community garden spaces, in the Carmichael area off of, like the American River Parkway.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, kind of all scattered around
Wow.
Sacramento. Yeah.
So I can see that it's not just me who loves your art because you are everywhere it seems and you're expanding and I love that. And I'm glad that many people are able to witness your art and the gift that you have because it is a gift. And not everyone has a gift like yours. Your gift is very unique. And I know the art pieces that people are going to be able to see, they're going to see what we're talking about. So
Thank you so much, Tiffany.
you are very welcome, Erica. And I thank you so much for sharing your journey and the wisdom for today. And I truly believe that your story is going to help inspire others to create their own masterpieces. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.